You know what it is. It's the one and the only Professor L live in the LAB live on Team GRF TV. I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of Triple the God's Peace on. Come on, get up in here. All we got the lecture ready on the board. You need to get into your lab coats. Make sure they're nice and spiffy. Make sure you're nice and stir. Don't touch anything and stay away from the L experiments. You don't want those types of L's on you because those are the L's that we study. Asses in seats, eyes on the board. Uchu Sentai Kyuranger, Space.41, rushing, Planet Southern Cross. The episode can really be summed up in just this way. There's hell that's an illusion that we sometimes put ourselves in. And then there's the hell that is real when you have to deal with things when they are reality. And that is what the nucleus of this episode was about. Yeah, I'm like, the Kyurangers, yeah, we got the Q-timers. We finna put them together and we finna put in this WORK. So the squadron split up and it gets ugly after that. It's like, you really had a lot of the building of the relationship, even though it is a little ancillary between Caesar and Garu, and that's going to come into play major later in the episode. But again, a lot of the episode was simply building up to the end, because we can sit up here and talk about how the Lucky Squad was put through that own personal hell, and it's like the only other hell we saw other than Lucky that he ultimately escaped from because he is lucky. It's Tsurugi. Because it's like this ain't the first or the second or third or fourth time in this series we have seen that Tsurugi feels legitimately, and I mean guilty in a way that exudes normal guilty, of he is responsible for sipping on that Cuervo's death, right? Like, he is like super utterly responsible for what happened. And it's like, we know the story and we know the truth. Now, that's a hell you subject yourself to. Because even though that what my name is, Birdman, is a man out of time, far from space, and he's had a long time in cryostasis sleep to think about this over and over and travel in the past and re-deal with it for you to still understand that, yo, if you want to take blame for you led him into that battle, but people make their own choices. And I really think that's ultimately where that character arc is going to go before it's over, that we haven't seen the last of that boy sipping on Cuervo, given what the rest of this episode brought to the table. If we ain't seen the last of that boy Cuervo, it's like when they get done dealing with the work that is current right now, we'll see Cuervo. We'll see Cuervo as part of this end game majorly. Because again, like I said, the first part of this end game was dealing with Professor Anton, and while we haven't fully dealt with that, and we got Metal Tits Madako out here, we fully haven't dealt with that. But at least that's something that the Ibo squad is on. Right now, we got this Lucky stuff, and we gonna have that Cuervo stuff before this is over. Speaking about that boy, Lucky, he is what I talked about at the beginning of this episode, the nucleus of what this episode is. There's hell, and then there's hell. And unfortunately, who put him through that hell? His own old man. Is honestly, I had a feeling in the back of my head, and I know I didn't mention it in previous installments, I had a feeling Lucky Daddy was alive, because that episode where he became king and did all that, they played too much of your daddy is dead, too much for it not to come back this way. And it's like, it's not the first time Sentai has brought it back this way, and I will not name those Sentai, but they are Sentai in recent memory where you think daddy dead, but oh no, he's back. Lucky Daddy sat up here and gave the unlucky work to Garu and friends, because they took them else. Like, Lucky Daddy put that work in. It's like, after they got done doing all that stuff of, we're dealing with our own personal hell, super blast with the Q-timers, Lucky put in this work, they run upstairs, everybody just laid out, just like, somebody help me. But then it's like, I'm like, the thing is for real, I appreciate the reveal that was Lucky Daddy. Sat up here, the Slash versus the All-Star. The one side, the one person All-Star crash, sat up here, hit him in the face. Otosan! Lucky! Otosan! Run! Then Don Omage come. What's up? Don Omage here. Oh, yeah, this your real daddy. But guess who your real daddy? And then took him over. So, I don't know, because see, here's the question that I have right now. Does the dichotomy of what it is the Kyurangers got to do change with this twist in the story? It's like the game is, we got to take down Dark Matter them boys. We got to put in the Wizard. That's what has to be done. But does the plan change now because we need to find a way to save my father? Because see, again, now that I think about it, it's the same thing in the instance of technical Professor Anton. Even though the Antons were separated, good Anton got murked on an order by bad Anton by that boy Uncle Jesse. Is this really what it is we're dealing with here? Like, because it's like, because we have father figures, close friends. It's like, the one thing I will say that I don't appreciate that the episode did, the episode skipped out on everybody else. I would have loved to see what Hammy saw. We heard that boy Naga screaming out for balance. You know what I'm saying? We saw all that. And we know what was up in Stingerhead, so we don't really need to see that. There's a movie about that. There have been multiple episodes about that. You really don't need to see that. But the thing is, I would have loved to see that. Is that when I think about it now, even though we had that love fest between Garu and Caesar, didn't really much come from it, except when Garu figured it out. You know what I'm saying? Garu was like, yo. But then he took a massive L. I'm like, if the show was going to do something majorly drastic, because I kind of thought for real, they was finna legitimately kill off Garu. Like, legitimately, like, you no longer have a Blue Ranger. I don't know what y'all going to do with these Q-timers, but you don't have a Blue Ranger, right before the finish of, police people versus the thieves. All right, what you want to do? But the show gave you enough of what you need to understand and dichotomize, like, where we go. Because again, let me reset this up before we get up out of here. Because this is going to be a quick one. Because I'm not going to hold y'all all day. This is going to be a quick joint. We got Professor Anton, Metal Madarko, and all this stuff over here for the Ibo squad to deal with. Lucky's got daddy problems because your daddy is being controlled with Don Armageddon's hand up his ass like a puppet. So that's an issue too. And we still got this every time Tsurugi blames himself for everybody's death, but more that the show sits up here and he takes sipping on Cuervo's death really hard of trying to deal with this before the end game. The other thing that I think about that I'm just going to throw out that I was surprised at, that boy Naga didn't turn into metal. He didn't turn into Habitu Guy Battle because seeing him technically kill his boy Balance. Because I think that's why we didn't see that, because all it would have been was clip shows of when he was under that evil spell, putting in there working on his homie. So that kind of solved itself. But again, like I said, this show has a lot more to go before we're done. But we got a lot of immediate stuff to deal with. They saved the day. Bubbles in the squad because she is the bestest. Everything is down. Not like Don Armage cares, because when he sent who we didn't know at the time was Lucky Daddy to put in that work, I really think that this is some weird end game, and they sitting up here doing Don Armage a legitimate favor by taking down all these barriers. Because see, I have a feeling 2 or 3 episodes from now, suckers, hey, thank you for doing all this work. You let me free. And then he started doing work for real. Because I just honestly, that's in the back of my head. That's a Sentai trope. that the good guys think they doing something by infiltrating the bad guy's fortress, but then you realize you've let the bad guy out because the only reason he was here is because he's only stuck here, but you use the power to let him out. Ha ha, suckers. So I can't wait for that boy Don Armage, the Lord, to sit up here, because I'm George Miller, that nigga, like I'm turning the tables on you. Darkness, darkness. So it's going down. But yo, great episode overall, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm going to cut this one a little short because, again, like I said, is that, again, everything this episode was and is simply of the hell we put ourselves through versus the hell that presents ourselves when hell is here. And right now, the end of that episode, when everybody laid out and everybody looking all scared and Lucky like, yo, my pops did this? For a hero like Lucky is, for the red that he is, this is going to throw Lucky for a loop. And it's like, it's going to be fun to see him to be in a spiral, but then land it perfectly when he turns into his white form and sets up her inputs and work. So it is what it is. But yo, I'm turning this into a video. Like I said, just a little quick one because, like I said, ain't really a lot there to really dichotomize because the end game is forming. It's like I see a lot of things, and we've discussed a lot of that, and more is gonna come. But Lupinja versus Patronger, I've seen the toy scans. I usually don't look at that stuff. I love how Sentai is, breaking tropes. I'm like, it's 5 people. No, it's 9 of us. No, it's cops and robbers now. It's gonna be Cowboys or the Indians next season. I don't know. But yo, go get up out of here, man. Yo, class is dismissed. I'd like to thank you for joining me, the one and only Professor L, live in the LAB, live on Team GRF TV. Make sure those lab coats get into those cubby holes. Go enjoy lunch. Just don't lick any poles. I'm like, we had an incident yesterday in the nurse's office. Somebody licked a pole. Somebody's parents were mad. I don't want to deal with that. Don't touch the L experiments, because you catch one of them L's we studying, you might not never recover. But for real, the one and only triple the G.O.D, a.k.a. Professor L, live in the LAB, live on Team GRF TV. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speech Song. And with that being said, Super Say the Chat!